I'm Mike Lutz, Bon Secours Richmond Market President. I've spent my career establishing community partnerships, formulating a strategic vision, and collaborating with physicians and associates to build a world-class workforce where people are valued for their skills and talents and appreciated for their uniqueness. As you get to know Bon Secours, you will begin to understand that to us, diversity and inclusion are not just the latest buzzwords from the business world. These words represent Bon Secours' willingness to recognize, understand, appreciate, and respect individuals regardless of their differences.
So today we're here at St. Mary's. We're staying in the valet parking lot because what we're about to do is get uncomfortable by doing the privilege walk.
This activity is designed to help us to see how maybe some systematic things in society has influenced us, whether it's a benefit or whether we've kind of been marginalized by it.
So we're going to ask some questions, some probing questions that are going to be very introspective, but also is going to give a chance to silently tell your story by taking a step forward or taking a step back. All I need you to do is go over there and get in a straight line. Try to be as diverse as you can in that line. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions. When I ask a question, at the very end, I'll give you one simple direction. It will either be step forward or step back. If you're right-handed, take one step forward.
I signed up for it, and honestly, I didn't even really have any expectations. I didn't really know what the Privilege Walk was about. I knew it was about diversity, inclusiveness, and equity.
If you're able to move through the world without fear of sexual assault, take one step forward.
The questions were very different. I think that's something I learned is there are a lot of different questions you can ask in a walk like this that would unveil or reveal areas of privilege or lack thereof.
If you were ever made fun of or bullied for something you could not change or was beyond your control, take one step back.
Everybody is different, and we all come from different backgrounds, different stories, but we're still so much alike. And just being very open to everyone and accepting and just actually learning from each other is, how I kind of go about, just like share your story, share my story, and we find out that there's a lot of commonality amongst us.
If you've ever had to skip a meal or were hungry because there was not enough money to buy food, take one step back.
Definitely expected to be towards the back, but also I was excited to see just the kind of variety and the diversity within the group itself.
If you've ever been uncomfortable about a joke related to your race, religion, ethnicity, gender, disability, or sexual orientation, but felt unsafe to confront the situation, take one step back.
I think that it's always going to bring a needed awareness and a renewed intention to think about these things, think about privilege, think about equity, and how I bring a voice to support that.
Expectation was to participate, to learn, to try to understand my own experience better, and also other people's experiences. There was a sense, to your question about stepping away from the line, a sense of inevitability about it, of what it was going to look like and what was going to happen based on the questions, and a lack of control over that. But then also, as you got up front, you didn't see it, right? You didn't see the people behind you.
And so our winner is Sean. Yay! Sean, he got to come forward. Now, I just got a quick question. Was that fair?
Everyone else besides me saw someone else in front of them. And the fact my view had no one else in front of me. Unless I had turned around, I wouldn't have been aware of all those steps of privilege that I'd had throughout my life and really have that perspective.
Can you grab John's hand real quick for me? Now pull him up to where you are a little bit. Take a step forward.
As a witness, what I saw are two individuals at the farthest back of this line and actually grabbing each other's hands and progressing along person by person as this human line continued to go larger and larger. It really was a symbolic and, for me, emotional time to be able to reach out and be a part of this diverse line of human beings.
Now, okay. So now is everybody on the straight line?
someone could have be very poor and have a happy childhood, or have a miserable childhood, or very wealthy and have all the advantages and be really unhappy and not feel loved.
Resources and opportunities do not equal happiness. Sometimes they equal stress and more stress, right? So it's important to love well and be gracious with yourself. That's all I always tell people. We're having this really intrusive, uncomfortable conversation because we want to help each other grow. It's an emotional journey.
I think generally sitting with feelings like this is really important because it's easy to mask and to just kind of go about and pretend like they're not there. The most important thing would be to keep your eyes and heart open, right? And so just make sure that you are listening to people with the intent to understand their life, and so that you can show up for them the way you maybe wished people had shown up for you.
Everybody has a story, everybody has a journey, and that's something that I'm consciously aware of, and I'm intentional about trying to understand that. What's below the tip of the iceberg that shows.
Today's Privilege Walk was one generation. If we were to do this 4 or 5 generations going back, you would see that where we started on the same line, it would be completely different.
It's important to me that if we call ourselves a ministry, that we support initiatives like this because they cause change, because they recognize human dignity, they show compassion, and they also show action. So it makes me feel good to be a Bon Secours associate in this moment. And it makes me feel even better to be a director of mission and being able to connect that for people, that this is a part of our mission.
Our strategic quality plan says it best. We will attract, retain, and develop an exceptional workforce and build a culture of inclusiveness and integrity that values diversity. Thank you. We are truly committed to improving the health and well-being of our communities and bringing good help to those in need.
No matter our nationality, our religion, our background, it's all for one mission, one purpose.